Alright, I was just about to hop on here and do a little bit of analysis, and Bitcoin started absolutely pumping, which is good, because I am in 3 long positions right now. But anyways, I just want to pretty much go over what has happened since my last video, go over some levels that I'm looking at, and do some analysis. Since my last video, we have, kind of just been ranging here. We've been, in a little downtrend, I guess. Recently, we kind of broke that. But overall, we're still just in ranging environment right now, and we have now closed a weekly candle below this high I was watching. So, yeah, kind of a little bit bearish there. That kind of pushes my bias meter a little bit closer to the bear side, but we are still in a 4-hour uptrend. We haven't broken structure here, and I mean, right now we're breaking the downtrend locally and kind of creating local bullish structure here. So overall, I'm not super bearish yet, but we did close that weekly down below the high I was watching. And I don't think just because we kind of wicked the weekly high that we're now going to become bearish, because we can easily just pump up here and close the next weekly candle up there and kind of just forget about that wick. That can easily happen. So until we break 4-hour structure now, I'm not going to be feeling super bearish, because I think we can still just kind of continue on with bullish structure anyway. And until we start to lose this low down here, this 4-hour higher low at like 29,500, I am still going to be feeling more bullish than bearish. And I just want to quickly run through some things on Market Cipher. So we have technically confirmed a bear div here on the daily. This was something I was looking at in my last video. But the money flow is trending up, and right now it is showing signs that it's starting to curve to the upside potentially. It's starting to kind of bottom out here. We had a little turn to the downside. This could just continue on with this upward trend here. And the reason I say that is because if you go to some of the lower time frames, the money flow is starting to curve up already. And on the 12-hour, the VWAP is already curving to the upside. Looks like we want to print a green dot here. 12-hour money flow is also potentially showing signs of starting to curve back to the upside. It's not really there yet, but maybe it wants to stay in the green here and curve around just before the zero line. And when you go a little bit lower, the 8-hour money flow is already starting to turn to the upside. We kind of have like a local uptrend here in the money flow. So potentially looking to put in a higher low right here. And we already did print the green dot on the 8-hour. And the 6-hour was looking very nice, actually. This tight trigger wave to the downside. Pretty much we got a very slight bullish divergence here on the low. This was right before we got that massive pump to the upside. So yeah, this wave down here marked the low. From there, momentum just got to move up above the zero line. It got to move up, and it didn't come back down until just now when we got this extremely tight trigger wave. And a lot of times this can be a good sign for continuation when you get a really tight trigger wave like that, especially considering how long momentum has been above the zero line. And then for it to just kind of peek back in and get a really tight trigger wave like that. And the money flow also looking very good. It's kind of continuing to grow. Right now we're kind of getting another turn to the upside. So this 8-hour, I think, is looking pretty good. And below that, we can kind of see the same thing on the 4-hour. This is the wave that marked the low, and then we got this trigger wave to the downside. This is the first time momentum has been below the zero line. The money flow on the 4-hour is still looking pretty good, even though we kind of got this turn to the downside recently. It is overall really thick in the green. Oh wow, we just got a very fast wick there. That could potentially be bearish, so I'm going to want to watch that. But some of the lower time frames are also looking pretty decent as well. The 30-minute, money flow is continuing to grow after being in the red a little bit. Momentum putting in higher lows and higher highs. And, until we got this wick, it was looking really good because we started pumping up. We got another green dot up here. Money flow is kind of starting to curve back to the upside, but we'll have to see what happens with this. But yeah, overall, a lot of time frames are looking like they have bullish potential. So I do have some levels marked out locally. We just got a wick up above this 15-minute order block into the golden pocket. So I might actually want to check Coinalyze, see if we saw a lot of liquidations there, because this could potentially mark a significant high. And we did see a decent amount of trades get stopped out there, yeah, for sure. And now we could potentially be seeing some bearish absorption on this little retrace. So let me pull a fib. Let me see if we're going to move up into this golden pocket. And I might even want to check the 1 minute, see if we have any low time frame order blocks up here. We really don't. This has just been one move to the downside. We did see some pretty nasty divergences as we put in that high. Oh yeah, that's 6 minute. That is looking pretty bearish, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, and so far we just rejected off that 0.5. Hopefully we get another move up to that golden pocket, because honestly I would like to be able to hedge myself. I'm in 3 longs right now and 0 shorts, so yeah, we'll see what happens with this. I'll set an alert at that golden pocket a little bit before it, and let's kind of run through some of my other ideas. So to the downside, we have some order blocks. Now that the structure is kind of continued though, it's going to be tougher to kind of incorporate these into structure, meaning we would have to break structure most likely in order to get down here, unless we still SFP this wick. You know, before it was easier because the wick was a little lower, so you know they're still pretty close. I guess you know, you could still SFP this, but this is a zone I'm watching down here. 2-hour order block plus the PD value area high. There's also a 1-hour order block down here, and there is an NDPOC below this order block. You could potentially, you know, grab liquidity from that order block, get a move into that NDPOC. But, you know, again, you would have to break structure to get down to this guy for sure. You could SFP into this one, but probably, or I'm going to say definitely not the 1-hour one below it. And I think this is like a 5-minute order block or a lower time frame one that I had marked out. I don't know why I didn't label it, but yeah, it's not a 10, so I'm guessing it's a 5. Yeah, it's a 5, but I also brought it down to the wick of the previous candle, so that, yeah, I mean, you could pay attention to that maybe if we see a structure transition in it. Now, price is going to move up to that golden pocket, so let's see what's going on here. We didn't quite hit it yet. Are we seeing more longs coming in? Yeah, some. I would prefer to see a bit more. Actually, I mean, this is a decent amount of longs being absorbed, so potentially here, let's come up with an idea here. Let's say we get to move up to this golden pocket, cover the wick because we're seeing absorption. I mean, it would be a 2-to-1 just to get down to this market structure point. That's not horrible. We'll have another alert set there, and yeah, that's pretty much all I'm looking at to the downside. I mean, aside from these, I would still be watching this guy down here, this 10-minute one, because it could still align with the 4-hour uptrend. Yeah, if we didn't put in a 4-hour higher low right here, if we come down for another low, we still could put in a significant low here, and it would yeah, still be above the higher low. But I think I would prefer if this guy was the 4-hour higher low. I think this is a decent low. The reason I like this low is because we have a hidden bullish divergence here. So price made a higher low as momentum greatly decreased on the 4-hour. And then when you go to the lower time frames, we have a regular bullish divergence on the low locally, as we put in this last lower low. The 1-hour and down pretty much was diverging. So we have a hidden regular divergence here, a hidden plus a regular divergence, which oftentimes is a pretty good signal of a significant low, especially when it aligns with market structure. So for that reason, I like this low as being a potential 4-hour higher low now. So I would like it if we can come up and break market structure here. And with that being said, to the upside, we do have this 15-minute order block and this 786, but unless we see something really convincing there, I really won't be putting too much weight on this level. I am, mostly interested in this high up here, and I should probably have that marked out. My alerts are going off. That was really loud. I guess my computer volume's up a little bit, so sorry about that, but let's check locally. All right, are we seeing more longs come in? We saw a bunch of shorts open up, so not exactly what I want to see, but that shows that people are thinking about shorting this, and we did get a sharp rejection. Okay. That kind of ruined my risk reward, didn't it? Should have entered as soon as we hit that golden pocket, but that's all good. Yeah, just took a little scalp, and yeah, I guess first target would be this low. If we keep pumping, whatever, I'm in 3 longs, and just took a little scalp there. Didn't take too much of a risk on it. All right, so we'll see what happens with that. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, right now, I like this as being a potential 4-hour high or low. And if we can break up above this guy, then great, the uptrend is continuing. And then at that point, I mean, sure, we could still continue this 4-hour uptrend and then later in the week still come down, close another candle down below the high, get another wick above it, and then, maybe from there break structure, and then we would be bearish. So yeah, breaking 4-hour structure here doesn't necessarily mean that, things are bullish again, that we're going to continue pumping up, that we're eventually going to close a weekly candle up here. It doesn't necessarily mean that, but that would essentially push us in that direction. I think continuing the 4-hour uptrend here would ultimately be pretty bullish, and it would give us a much better chance at, continuing the pump. So to the upside, I am mostly focused on this high, and I would prefer if we would make a run for that soon, like today. But, I guess we could still kind of come down, maybe even create a local downtrend, but still put in a local high or low to this guy, and then look to, break structure later. We could do that. So I guess it doesn't matter if we get a move up to this high today, but it would be nice since I'm in 3 longs, and I'd like to hit some TPs up there. But, yeah, that is pretty much what I'm looking at. Other than that, I'm playing the waiting game. We got to see what happens here, I guess, and yeah, while I'm waiting for more macro developments, I've just been trading the local price action, trading the local range. And another reason I was interested in a short here is because it is at the value area high of this range. So, yeah, trading the range as I always do. And if we break out of the range, that's all right. I'm in 3 longs, so I'd be fine with that. If not, then we'll continue trading the range until we do break it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all that I wanted to go over today. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Really appreciate the support, and I'll see you all in the next video.